Hello, my convicts and convicts. Yes, it is I, once again, the Kappa convict, bringing you guys and gals another tech video. As you know, my tech videos are straight to the point. So here we go. So today is about what you can see in the title, DNS. Does DNS make a difference when you're online gaming? I think it makes somewhat of a difference. I wouldn't say it makes dramatic or a huge difference, but from what I've seen through my NetDuma and the tests I've run, I feel that it does have some part to play. As you all know, when you actually go and start with your PS4 and you start it up and you run the test, it gives you a NAT type of 2 and all that, and it goes through, and you've got your DNS servers that you've got on there as well. That comes automatic from your internet service provider. What I've always said from the past, that your internet service provider, all they wanting to do is get you on the internet. That's it. That's why obviously I went out there and bought myself a gaming router, which is the NetDuma R1 gaming router for anyone who's new. And that's the reason why I've got this device, because it's better than the normal standard router. As I've said, the providers just want to get you online. They don't care about giving you the best online gaming experience. It's all about just getting you on the internet and you giving them your kissage cash. For those I didn't know that. So here we go. Let's talk a little bit about it. I will apologize. This video will be a little bit long-winded, but do stick with me and get to the end, and it will explain itself throughout the length of this video. So here we go. So DNS. What is DNS? What I found DNS to be, in my terms, is a bit like a librarian and a library. The librarian is the DNS, and the library is Google, Twitter, YouTube, all the different various websites that we visit every single day. So, what happens with DNS? DNS basically is where you go to a librarian and you would ask them for, say, a book. You say, okay, I want a book on Google. Then you type in the search bar, obviously, when you're in the Google page, and it'll bring up Google. Or if you're in Microsoft Explorer, it'll bring up Google, and then you can download that browser and use that one instead. That's what DNS does. It's kind of like it's a registry stored on the internet through these DNSs, and it allows the librarian to go out there and find the book by going up to them and saying, okay, I want this. Now, as we all know, Google has also a reference, which is 4.8, that's 8.8.8.8, or 8.8.4.4. And each website has a particular reference, and this is where the DNS would go out and would look at that numbers, would then search the internet and bring you that page back. So it's asking the librarian to go out there into the library, find a book, and come back. Now, this brings me to my next point. There's two types of parts to the DNS. It's called cached and uncached. Basically, cached is information stored by the DNS from when you're browsing. It will keep your information, as Google does, and other websites do as well, and they store that information. So when you want to revisit that page, it's almost instantaneous. It's like as if they put the book under their desk. They know you come in the next day, and you say, "Oh, can I have that book?" Yeah, here you go, already. Now, uncached is what I'm wanting to look in today, because uncached means that the librarian has to think of the book, think of where it is, go find the book, and then bring the book back rather than having it slipped on the desk waiting for you. I do apologize, I'm using the library as a reference, but it kind of makes sense in the terms of what we're trying to do here. So, uncached is what we want to look at, because uncached is going to be having it go out and find that information, then bring that information back rather than instantly already knowing, because it knows through your history what you've been searching for, what kind of sites you've been on, and then instantly reloading that page. Which is why obviously a lot PC store called history, because it stores the sites, the web pages already, so that it loads faster for you. But it doesn't necessarily make it better, because if it's keeping that information for like online gaming, it might differ a little bit in the terms of how that works. So what I actually went is onto Google here, and I actually searched for a program that I'm using that I've used in order to do this. I suggest you check it out and try it for yourself and see what you think, because I think it really might help you out. Now, what you need to be looking for is called DNS bench DNS benchmark. And you want this one. It's called GRC DNS Name Server Performance Benchmark Gibson Research. This is the one that you want. And this is what you want. So it's DNS benchmark is what you're looking for. And as you can see, there's been a new release, added new name servers, which is Cloudflare. This is Cloudflare. Now, Cloudflare, if you don't know, is actually being deemed faster than Google. Google's always been the public server that's always been somewhat the fastest and pretty much secure kind of name DNS server, which is the 48s, 28s, 24s. Now, I'll write some of these down in the description so you've got some of these DNSs to try out for yourself as well. But I would definitely recommend using this program to find your best DNS for your area. And this is Cloudflare up here. I don't know what 9.9.9.9 is, but I know that one is Cloudflare. So what you need to do is come to this page. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see a download now. So if you click on the download now, then it'll come up here. Now it's a very, very small file. So as you can see, it's instantly loaded it. And as you can see, I've already got it installed on my system. So you just basically click on this to open and it will install it. It should install, I think, on yours, and then it'll bring it up. Because I've already got mine on here, it will obviously just bring up the one I've currently got already. So we can get rid of that now. Press the little box here to make it as big as possible. Now, there's a lot of information here. I definitely recommend you go and read this because it will help you out in terms of what you want to do in regards to this program itself. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to find out a name server. So as you can see, all these servers are already on here. Now there's the 1.1.1.1, which is Cloudflare. These two are Cloudflare. You can find out the owner by clicking here. If you can see, cloudflare.net is here. Google is down here. So as you can see, Google is apparently not as fast. But these two here, these two at the top you can see, these are the ones I've actually found through doing this benchmark and actually running. And these actually come up to be my fastest two DNSs, which is what I'm currently using at the moment. And I'm trialing it out, seeing what I think of it and if it's any good on there. As you can see, Cloudflare is just underneath. What you need to do is once you've actually got the first beginning part, when you first load up, what you'll need to do is run a benchmark by clicking here. What this basically will do now is it's testing out your DNSs, finding out the best DNS, and it's going to put your best DNS at the top of this list. As you can see, it says here, sort the fastest to be first. So any of the fastest will be first up here first. So let this run through. It does take a little bit for this one to do. Now the next part, I'm not going to go and do it myself because it actually takes 35 minutes to complete. I would suggest you do it yourself and obviously it will help out. I'll explain that a little bit once this is complete. So as you can see, Cloudflare is at the top at the moment. Now, all these ones at the moment you can see here, which is running a benchmark, are the default DNSs that was added in on by Steve Gibson or whoever obviously was working with Steve Gibson to comprise all these DNSs together in this program. So just going to wait for this to quickly finish off. It doesn't normally take long for this part. It's the other part, which is going to comprise 50 of the best servers for you based on the information for your location. So that's what you really want to look at. One thing I've noticed when I've been reading this information is it says it mainly goes on cached when it's doing the test. But I actually want the uncached because I want the ones where it has to go out and find the information and then bring the information back, which I'll show you how to sort that out. So it actually shows you uncached, the best one at the top. So I'm just going to wait for this to finish off. If this does help you out, by the way, please feel free to hit that like, subscribe if you are new. Tap the notification bell to be notified of all my videos, and you can then be one of Kappa's convicts for the lads and a convict head for the ladies. A convict hat, if I say it right. Yes. So I'm just going to wait for this. As you can see, it's also got ticked to show uncached. So remember, a cached is it already has the information stored. Uncached means that it has to go and find information. So once you've actually done run benchmark, this is what you want to do. You want to build a custom list. So you want to be clicking there. Now this will take 35 minutes for it to complete. Once that 35 minutes complete, then you will be able to do this part. Now I'm just going to put not now, but you need to be pressing that. You definitely need to press build custom list. It will help you out because it will all actually comprise. What it basically does is it starts to run through all these DNSs and it starts to run from your location and it tests out all the servers that are good, that are not responding, and that are bad. And it'll comprise 50 or 75, whichever one it is. I think it's 75 possibly, or 50 on here. But as you can see, it takes about 37 minutes. And they'll build a list based on your location. So it basically starts running the proper benchmark test on each and every server near you, trying to ping it out. Now, at this point, when you're doing this kind of thing and you're building a list and using this program, try to get no one else to use your internet. You want to try and keep it as free as possible. Just leave it to do what it does for the 35 or 37 minutes it takes to do what it needs to do. And you'll find a much more accurate explanation of DNSs. If you have people using YouTube and their phones and stuff, it may disrupt what you're trying to do. It might not give you the best ones that you want on there. So do beware if you're going to do this test. Also, please make sure that you check out DNSs first before you use them. Make sure that they're safe, that they're okay. Always be a little bit careful of DNSs because some retain information and some don't. Some have really good security, as others rely on speed rather than security. So just be a little bit aware of that and just be a little bit careful along the way as well. Because I cannot be held responsible if you do this yourself. It's completely up to you. Right, so now we've got that out of the way. As you said, you need to press this, but I'm going to press not now. And what you need to do once you've done that and you've done the 30 odd minutes of waiting, you'll get a list here. You'll be able to run a benchmark again as well. So you want to run benchmark afterwards. So as soon as you've done that 30 odd minutes, run the benchmark again. Once that benchmark is completed, then what you want to do is right click anywhere. And as you can see here, there's a list of different things you can do. So I can remove dead name servers. So any name servers that didn't respond, I can remove redirecting servers. So any that were redirecting you at the time. And you can also put on here sort by uncached performance. So I want uncached. So as you can see, that's brought up one of the sites I'm currently using at the moment, which is the 212.118.24133, which is the Interlap European Autonomous System GB. And there was another one as well I was using here as well. But it's actually saying Cloudflare is the second fastest one on there in regards to uncached. Now, at the moment, because obviously I've not ran a proper test again and I've re-downloaded the program, this may not be correct information. So I'm sticking with the ones that I've currently got already on my system. And that's it. And then what you can do is once you've done that and you've run the benchmark after completing the 30 odd minutes. So you complete the 30 odd minutes, then you want to complete the run benchmark. Then you want to right click, sort by uncached performance, like that. And then when you've done that, you can right click and you can actually remove slower name servers on there. And it should leave you with just the ones that are good. If it just leaves you with the one, then it may be that one is the best. You can then hold left click and it tells you how well it performs. So cached, it did it in 19 seconds. Uncached, it did it in 48 seconds. .com, it did it in 21 seconds. Now, I don't know what .com, what that would represent, but I'm just mainly focusing on cached and uncached. So as you can see, it takes 48 seconds for it to respond. And like I said, I've sorted fastest first. So 48 seconds was the fastest it possibly could do, and cached was 19 seconds. So that was pretty fast as well. And that's it. And then just take this down here, this reference. And then what you want to do is you want to then go into your browser and you want to actually go and find your router for your main hub router, which mine's the BT home hub, and you want to enter this information in the DNS part of the router. Now, this part I can't really help you with because everyone's router is going to be different. I'm not going to be able to help you with that. If you need a bit of help, you may want to go on YouTube or Google it just for a little bit of help and support on how to change your DNS on your server, on your actual router itself. Always make sure, this is a common mistake a lot of people say, but a lot of people say go into your PlayStation, put this DNS in, and that's it. No, you actually want to put this DNS in the main router, which mine, like I said, is a BT home hub. Don't put it in your PS4 because all that's doing is it's creating longer. Because what that means is from your BT hub to your PS4, it's going to be using a different DNS. It's going to hit your PS4. Then the PS4 is then going to have to change the DNS to the DNS you've entered to then do what it needs to do. So it's making twice as long time to do what it's supposed to do. If you change it on your main router in your home, it's going to filter through from that to your PS4 and then to your system. Or in my case, it's going to go from my hub to my NetDuma and then to my PS4. What I'd also recommend if you're kind of doing like me and you've got the hub, the NetDuma, and the PS4, is what I've kind of wanted to do myself. Now, the thing about my PS4, not PS4, my BT Home Hub, is it has a weird thing called dynamic DNS. And for some weird reason, it asks you for like names and stuff and all this garbage. And I'm like, well, what is all this weird stuff? It's like, it just does not make sense. I don't know what this is. So, what I've actually done is I've actually gone into the computer itself, right click down here where it says Internet Network, or left click actually, double left click, then go to Network and Internet Settings. Let me pull this over here a moment. Um, then you want to find something called change adapter settings, okay? Which I'm going to do over the side because I think it shows information. Just bear me a second. So I've clicked on change adapter settings. Pull this over here. So you want to right click. So then what you want to do is you want to go to where it says Ethernet. You want to right click and you want to click on properties. Which I'm going to do here. Right click, go to properties. Then what you want to do is go down to this IPv4 because that's what you're using. You want to then click properties here. Right. No, it doesn't show any of the information. That's fine. So it doesn't show any information. That's good. So what you need to do then is go down here where it says DNS server address auto. You want to not untick. You want to then tick here where it says use the following DNS because you want it to use what you want it to use, and then you want to enter the DNS that you got up here into this information. You can see it's there. That's the one that I'm currently using, and then there was another one I did as well, which was at the top. Now that's because I run the build my custom list when it asks. As soon as you've done the benchmark, it will bring up the pop-up. Then you just want to build custom list, and this is what it gave me in the end as my custom list on there. So you enter it in there if you're having same issues for me. Now, ideally, you want to go into your router and do it for your router. I'm doing it on PC on there because it won't physically let me do it on mine because it asks me for a lot of information that doesn't make sense. If you've got a BT hub, maybe you could probably do it the same way as this, which obviously, like I said, just left click twice, go onto network and network settings, which I can show you now because I know it doesn't give any information. Then choose adapter options, which is this. Then you want to right click properties, and that'll bring this IPv version 4 properties, and that's where you want to enter it. And then just click OK when you've done, close it down, and that's that part done. Once you've done that, now for me, I kind of have a thing about doing it. Now, as with port forwarding, I know sometimes my BT hub doesn't port forward my ports properly to my NetDuma to my PS4. So what I would suggest for you if you want to do it this way, you don't have to, is obviously go into your browser, Then go into your router, my NetDuma. Then you want to type in your information. So I'll do it off screen. Let me just check that all the information here is going to be okay for you to see. Yep, that should be fine. So all you need to do, if you've got NetDuma, is go to network settings, click on this at the bottom. Then you want to go to the Wi-Fi part of the Wi-Fi bit. So network settings. Then you want to go over here. It'll be on general. You want to go into network, and there is the two DNSs. Make sure this is on so it overrides the DNS, and then save network once you've done that on the NetDuma. So once you've done that on the NetDuma, there's only one other device you need to do it on, which again, like I said, this is up to you if you want to do this ideally. If you put it on the PC, it should filter through each of the other of your devices because it automatically should pick up that IP address, those DNS addresses, sorry. So you can do it that way, or you can do it like I've done, and I've done it on each and every one. So I've done the same one here, and then I went into my PS4, which I don't have on at the moment, and I actually went on to where you can set up the network connection, and I went through the process of doing it under custom, and then going to the point, leaving everything as default to the point it gets to DNS, and then changing the DNSs to these two, and then just going through it again. Everything else is automatic. MTU, everything else is automatic. Then run the test, and you're good to go. Now, one thing you may need to do that I've had to do in the past when I've done this and I've changed the DNS is I've had to restart the router. Now, if you just router to PS4, you want to restart your main router. If you router to NetDuma, I found out I could just restart my NetDuma in order to put it back. Because what will happen is when I've gone into such as Call of Duty, any of the Call of Duties, Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4, which if you have that on your system, you can run that as a quick test to see if it's done it. It sometimes will put your port as a moderate one. What you need to do if you restart your router and restart your PS4, then when it comes back online, it will put your ports back to open when you restart the game. And maybe you could use a game it will show you if it's open or moderate and then restart it. Make sure that it sets up as an open port because obviously open is the best way to play the game. If you have moderate, you can have lag on top of lag, and that's just going to give you one hell of a nightmare when playing games. So there you go. I do apologize. This has been a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to display this and obviously give you something you can try out. I've actually felt that it has improved my games, especially on Black Ops 4. I was having a lot of issues with Black Ops 4, like I've said previously, and Dennis Mimidovsky wanted me to play Black Ops 4. I salute you, buddy. And he was obviously talking about, yeah, can you play more, because it is a new current card. So after doing some tests and that and running these, I found that my send and receive rates were a lot higher than what they were previous. So I feel like it has improved the send and receive rates of what it was doing. And even the host tick rate seemed to be somewhat better. And my ping was slow, the usual 20 ping. So I don't think ping, it makes too much of a difference, but such as send and receive rates, I do feel has made somewhat of an impact on there. So please, if you can, try it out. Let me know your results. Put them in the comments below and let me know. Also, send it to my Twitter at JohnR1S on there as well, which if I just load up Google here, if you just type in this at JohnR1S in that way, then I can have a look on Twitter, as you can see here, at John R1S, the Kappa Convict on Twitter. You can go on there and send me a picture. If you've got a really cool image of a speed test or if you've got NetDuma and it's improved your network, and you can go into the geo filter and show me how much it's improved from what it is previous to what it is now, please feel free to send a screenshot at JohnR1S or just type in the Kappa Convict. You should find me there on Twitter. As you can see, twitter.com/JohnR1S. You should be able to hopefully find me on there and send me a picture. Well, hopefully that has helped you out. So again, don't forget to download DNS benchmark. I'll put it down in the description below on this video, and I want you to go out and try it out for yourselves and let me know what your result was when doing this. So there you go. Hopefully this has helped. If it has, like I said, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you're new, tap that notification bell to be notified of all my videos, and you truly can be one of Kappa's convicts, and for the ladies, a convict. So there you go, you know it is I, the Kappa convict. I'm signing out, and as always, I salute you, my convicts and convicts out there in the world, and hopefully I will see you soon in another gameplay. And before I go, I will also be doing a recording of a game just for you who may not want to do this and just want to watch a gameplay. Bye for now.